Hello everybody and welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons! Today I just remembered I forgot to catch... I forgot to catch the violin beetle for Sky. Remember though, buddy old pal, do you believe I found some furniture I just don't use anymore laying around? How do you lose a whole piece of furniture? Life, I'm telling you. Be careful with it, I don't know where it's been. Good luck, Diva. Alright. Alright, what did you lose? So I did get Hazel her thing. A soft serve lamp. You lost a poopy lamp. Okay. Okay. And today we'll be bringing Hazel back so that we can continue this process of inviting Hazel to the island. Got some oops. The Robot Hero shirt's what I got from Hazel. The cream and sugar was from who was it? Invited me over? Tutu, I think. Invited me over. I think it was Tutu. Yeah, it was Tutu. Invited me over. Which also means we have Bubblegum KK playing right now in our as our town song because she gave us Bubblegum KK to immortalize her inviting us over for the first time. So I've just got that playing for now because it's freaking Bubblegum KK. How could I not? How could I not have that playing? Like, come on now. So, today, there's actually a few things I kind of want to ramble about, mostly pertaining to the channel. So, Star Ocean. Pretty cool. I don't have the sanity to do the secret dungeon as a video for First Departure R, or more accurately, series of videos. Because let me explain something. For any of you who have not played an old RPG, this secret dungeon, the Cave of 7 Stars, is multiple hours long and has no save points. Also, every encounter has the possibility to game over you. Even at the point I'm at with that game, where I'm basically equipped as good as I can get, it doesn't matter. I can still be game over very easily. Like, it's kinda ludicrous. I have now put about 4 hours into attempting to record this. And it basically leaves me in the camp of I either, at effectively the end of each episode, which this would get progressively harder as time goes on, go all the way back up to the entrance of the dungeon to make a save, so that at the very least, my, my items I have grabbed are saved, or I one-run it, one save run it, and just have to restart every single time I game over. Which is probably going to happen many more times. So, what does this mean for Star Ocean? Predominantly, it just means that I will probably finish it up on stream at some point. It'll just be a live-streamed finale, because, I mean, I tend to stream for about 5 hours anyway, so it's fine. So now you might be thinking, well, okay, what's going to happen to the extra video slot? While I'm still deciding on this, probably just various one-shots. That aren't exactly one-shots, because I keep doing them, but you know what I mean. Things like Pokemon Unite, Balatro, possibly Binding of Isaac, stuff like that. Possibly, I mean, next year I was thinking of cutting the extra video slot anyway. There's not enough time left in the year to realistically play through much of anything in that slot. I could probably get through, like, a really short game, but at 20-30 minutes every, 3 days a week, there's not that many weeks left to the year, I would need a pretty short game to actually reach the end of the year. Marna! Oh, it's Steven. Glad to see you. Let's talk. This makes today our best day ever. Indeed. Looks like she's gonna sing. Oh no, she stopped. Stage fright gets us all eventually. But yeah. So what I'm thinking is to probably finish out the rest of November with videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the extra videos. And then start December with streaming on those days instead. This will basically double the amount of streams I do a week, because the regular streams are going to stick around. These will probably be either shorter streams or possibly the same length of stream, just as a proper series where where Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday will remain more or less wildcard days. And I might do multiple series at a time. So like, as an example, I really want to play through Armored Core 6 to be specific. I've had the game for a while, I want to play it. Well, I could just play it on my own, which is a reasonable thing to do, or I could stream it. I feel like, oh, they are hanging out, our bears are hanging out. Until I came to see 222. I'm like totally fascinated by Tutu's place. We start to, understand who someone is when you see inside their house. Understandable. Pinky and me are hanging out today. Let's talk. My cute bed. It's the comfiest thing ever. I like to lay on it when I read Fauna magazine or Miss Nintendique. It's so comfy. Sometimes I fall asleep and I wake up with magazines stuck to my face. That's fair. You girls enjoy. They're so cute. So like, I could do Armored Core on, say, Monday. And then possibly do, like, I don't know, freaking Final Fantasy on Wednesday. And then do another game, Dark Souls, why not? On Friday. Do 2 Souls-likes at the same time? That'd be fun. I've actually been playing Dark Souls Remastered. Because, I've already got the black tailcoat, and I'm already wearing a white coat. So let's do this, because this kind of works, so. Heck yeah. Where I've been modding for Ruby, and they've been playing Dark Souls, I was like, man, I kind of want to try Dark Souls again. Because I played it way back in the day, PlayStation 3. I didn't play far, because I just more or less got kind of disappointed in it, would be the best way to put it. Steven, I just want to say thank you for always being there to help Label. She talks about you all the time, She says the efforts you pick out are always super inspiring. Then she runs back here and starts sketching furiously. It's wonderful to see. Thanks so much for all 3 of us. Thank you from the roots of my quills. And there's definitely some things I'm not a fan of. But I like the game a lot more these days than I did back then. Which is why I decided to buy Dark Souls Remastered while it was on sale. Like, it's a lot better than I remember it being. And it could be parts of the remaster. That might be it. But it feels exactly like I remember it feeling, so probably not. I will say, though, one of my issues is how encounters are laid out. Now, death is going to happen. If you're playing Dark Souls, expect to die. That's how those games work. You will probably die multiple times the first time you encounter something. That's fine. That's how it's designed to be. You're meant to die and learn. Which is fair. It's fine. I'm cool with that. Hello, Bianca. How are you doing, Glimmer? Let's chat. What should I do tonight? Huh? That's actually new dialogue. I don't think I've ever seen a villager say that before. Maybe she doesn't actually share a personality, even though the wiki said she did. Gala! Nice running into you, Snorty. One chat. A little fresh air never fails to cheer me up, Snorty. So, like, imagine you have fought your way through some basic generic enemies that you've seen, you know, 50 to 100 times already. So, Muffy be thinking, you better not be thinking of moving. What's up, Steven? How's the fishing been for you lately? It's just been lousy for me. Freshwater gobby. I can try to catch those for you. Alright. Norma. Sorry for not getting up. I'm really comfortable here. It's entirely fair. I don't mind. You sit, girl. Girl, sit. I don't mind. I wish I could sit down with you. Like, jeez. Do you, girl. I got stuff I still need to do, so, like, I can't just sit down. But, yeah, like, imagine you fought through this same group of enemies, like these, or you have fought these same enemies a bunch already. Then you end up dying somewhere after having fought through, like, 10-15 minutes of fighting the same enemies you've already fought. You die to something. Something new that you need to learn. You now need to fight through that same 10 to 15 minutes of enemies again to get back to where you were so you can try again. You know, the enemies that you're probably already sick of fighting. Zips, let me come by. Let's stop. Counting the days now to Turkey Day. Gotta get up early for once to chow down at the plaza. I'm working on a few ideas for stuff to cook too. You'll see. Just gotta find the ingredients and bam. It's fair. Just flop stands up. That's also a very relatable thing. Turkey Day is like tomorrow, isn't it? Or no, it's Friday? It's the 27th. Thursday. Right? I don't know. Freaking American Thanksgiving is on such a weird day. It's also almost certainly placed exactly where it is because capitalism. But, you know. Heaven forbid you get a break between Halloween and Christmas. Oh dear, pardon me. But, yeah, like, that can get very annoying. And honestly, that's what, like, so far, that's the only thing that's... Okay, it's not the only thing that's annoyed me. But it's the only thing gameplay-wise that's annoyed me. Game mechanic-wise, there's something else that's annoyed me. And it's time for Steph to ramble about swords again. It's the same ramble from before. The longsword is a one-handed weapon that you can use in two hands, but you can use every weapon in two hands. The hand-and-a-half sword, you know, that is a two-handed greatsword. I could set my longsword on the bed, and it would only from bed to hilt be maybe about this much shorter than that sword on the wall. Can you explain to me how the longsword is the one-handed sword while that is the... Game developers, please. Please. Ah. And I'm not even the biggest sword nut. I can only imagine how frustrating that is for, like, museum curators. Because, like, they know. They've seen these things up close. They've probably held them and been like, yeah, I can understand why this is a two-handed sword. And yeah, this one's a lot shorter, lighter, and it's definitely the one-handed sword. And it's not the long sword. Like, even just in the names, think about it for a minute. Long sword. Kind of tells you exactly what it is. It's a really long sword. Now, the hand and a half sword, or as it's more commonly called, and I apologize for this use of a curse word in this family-friendly game, but this is what it's called. It is a bastard sword. Now, that term, historically, has basically meant illegitimate or, you know, a mix kind of thing. So, in a way, you could see it, especially given the design of the weapon, that the hand and a half sword is basically the child of the long sword and the arming sword. It is directly between the two in terms of size. And it's the same as like people are just like, they hear hand and a half. Oh, you can use it in one or two hands. It's like, yes, you could. You can use it awkwardly in one or adequately in two. That is how that sword design is made. Congratulations. But then they go, long sword. Well, that must just be a long arming sword. Technically, yes. Very long. So long, in fact, that you cannot wield it comfortably in one hand. You could if you really had to. Like, I want to make that clear. A long sword... What am I doing? A long sword could be used in one hand if you absolutely had to. You know, like your other arm has now been injured and you have no choice in the matter. Yes, I would. Come back to me, Hazel. Miss Hazel, yet again. Look, if you think I'm gonna... Oh, sorry. This super annoying telemarketer has been bugging me all day. What's up? What? Your campsite? Yeah, sounds fun. Let me camp here and I'll be on my way. You know, wow. Let's see if I can actually get her request done on screen today. I love how that's just a Pokemon PC. But like, you know, you could in theory do it. I'm not gonna say you can't. But, and I know I've done this demonstration before, but I'm gonna set my controller down for a moment. Watch the webcam, because I have one of these. I made it myself. Let me move this up here. And hopefully not unplug the microphone. Ooh. I am 6 feet tall. Do you think you're comfortably using this in one hand? Actually 6'2". I am leaning over, obviously, because I'm resting my head on my hands. You think you are using this comfortably in one hand? No. No, it will not be comfortable at all. Like, I literally cannot fit it all into frame. There is a reason the hilt is as big as it is. So that you may grip it with two hands, not backwards to how I hold. Like, this is a long sword. This could do with being wider, but this was the width of the plank of wood, so. And also, you could, if you had to, grab your sword like this and thrust. Like, that was a thing you could do. You can grab, and as long as you don't slide your hand, it's not gonna cut you. It's not how blades work. You need to actually slide it. Like, yeah. I know I've gone on this rant before, but that's because it annoys the ever-living crap out of me when games are like that. And of course Dark Souls is. The longsword's one-handed, and the hand and a half sword is the two-handed greatsword. Because of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? It's apparently similar length to a Zweihander. No, not even close. Hey, Steven. Sorry to keep you waiting. Seriously rad of you to invite me out here. Thanks, Yuna. Wow. I wonder how a shell partition. This is gonna take more giant clams, isn't it? Singing out loud, and you're like, I'll make it happen. Super rad of you. Maybe tomorrow. Yep, I know. Making it happen might be easier with the recipe. Yep. This is gonna take multiple giant clams again, isn't it? No! Venus combs and conches. Oh, I've got plenty of those. I put all those away, thankfully. I didn't sell any of them. I knew this might happen. So I'm like, nah, hanging on to this stuff. So hair, please. Hair, please. I've not showered in a while. Please, stop. I really need to shower, but I'm so freaking lazy. I'll do it tomorrow. Maybe. It really depends on when I get up. I need to get to bed on time is what I need to do. I am going to collect up more beach junk as well. But yeah, let's come. I need my Venus combs and conches. Where are those in here? It's all my gyroids. Okay. Conches. Venus combs. Of course they all have the same icon in here. That's very helpful. I was not aware of that. That is actually very annoying. Nintendo, what are you doing? But yeah, like that. Also with how, like, okay. I can fully, with mentally making it be, none of the undead in Dark Souls were trained warriors. That is my thought process. That is the only way I can make a lot of the combat in that game make any level of sense. Now, what I mean by that is, okay, you have sword and shield. Where do you think your shield should be when you are fighting an opponent? If your answer is acting as a counterweight as you swing your sword at people, you are very incorrect. Your shield should always stay between you and your opponent. Always. The only time it shouldn't be there is if your opponent has parried it out of the way. Or you yourself are using it to parry their weapon out of the way, and then following it up with a quick stab or slash at your opponent, who is now vulnerable. That is not how shields are used in Dark Souls. By anybody. Nobody uses their shield properly. Nobody. But if you simply go, well, none of them were probably trained soldiers, it's fine. Because let's be real, if I were to hand probably any of you guys a sword and shield, spear and shield, you probably wouldn't know how to use your shield properly. And that's fine. You're not trained. I barely know. And I've spent way too much of my life looking at how to do this stuff. So, like, it's fine. It's okay. I can't believe any of these people are trained knights, though. They're not using their equipment properly. And that's a problem. Hey, got your partition before you even finished your lollipop. I grin. You didn't, did you? You went through the trouble of making me a souvenir. Let's see it. Bam. Shell partition. Wow, I knew it! You're the absolute best, Yuna. Wow. Wow, it's wild and it smells like Astera. I did not expect that. I can't believe you did that for me. You rock, Yuna. Wow. Actually, hold up a sec. Want my wall fan? Not really, but I'll take it, because it's yours now. This is embarrassing. I'm kind of sad I gotta leave. But it's not like I can just hang around here forever. Feel free to invite me out here again, alright? Love to come back. Tent living is alright, I guess. Like it now and then, you know how. Don't get me wrong, I love spending a night under the stars. Just never found a camping bed I like. That's understandable. They're not exactly made to be all that comfortable, I suppose. I will say, explanation-wise, there's a lot of things in Dark Souls that just aren't explained well enough. Like, attunement. The in-game description of the attunement skill is that having more of it gives you more attunement slots. Well, okay, what are those? Game never tells you. They're your magic slots. I figured that out by finally finding somebody to teach me some magic and realizing that, oh, that went in the attunement slot. Like, yeah. That's... I understand. Maybe they didn't want to explain things too much. But at the same time, some explanation is better than none at all. And I do understand. I did figure it out through just messing with things in the game. But it would have been nice to have the game tell me, hey, magic slots. Instead of calling them attunement slots, they could just call them magic slots, and that would have made the most sense. You know. But instead, it's attunement slots, and attunement, and it's like, okay. Alright, what am I doing today? 3 big time. Alright. I'm burping. I don't want to burp. But if I'm burping, it's because my body needs to, so. Well, I've not caught anything bigger yet anyway, so let's just go for it. But yeah, I have been enjoying playing Dark Souls. Just messing up anyway. I got fishing with my eyes. Fishing with my eyes. Fish in my eyes. It has been quite fun. It's also been rather funny, like, because of my choice of weapon. Because I have 2 spears. Well, not 2 spears, 2 swords, but I'm actually a spear guy. I enjoy spears more. It's just spears are harder to make when you don't have, like, any money. Now, I know what you might think. How is that harder? You just go grab a big straight stick somewhere and just carve it down. It's like, yeah, see, there's the problem, is carving it down. Have you ever tried to carve down a big stick into a round stick that is just as big? It's not easy, and it takes forever if you do not have proper tools. These swords can be made with a pocket knife. How is that big? Okay. So now I gotta catch big fish. Big fish Larry. Here's big fish Gary. But yeah, I do have a makeshift quarterstaff. This seems like another dab. It's probably fine. Nice. But yeah, I've got a makeshift quarterstaff. It's about the right size for one. It's a bit too thick. But it's also, like, a very light wood. So I don't want to thin it out too much because it already feels really light. And I've used that for, like, practicing a few, like, spear things. So I like spears. But yeah, my choice of using spear, specifically spear and shield, has proven to be quite effective so far. The exception being the first boss that I fought outside of the tutorial boss. Yeah, it didn't really deal enough damage for that, but I'm still trying to understand fully how the various damage mechanics work. Because, like, it doesn't explain itself very well. I have referred to the wiki more than once to try to understand what a stat is or does. Because, like, even, like, durability, something you would think would be, like, explained to you right away, isn't. I had to, like, weight was easy. Weight was understandable. It took me forever to find anywhere in the game where it listed the durability number and said durability near it. It does do it, but it's not in an obvious location. And then there's all the different types of damage, and it's like, it's a lot more complicated than it really needs to be. Especially where, like, there's, like, physical damage, melee damage, then there's various elements of damage, I think? Which you would think would fall under magic? Given the elements are magical in nature, I would assume? I don't know, man. I remember way back in the day, my first character, I was playing a mage. That's all I really remember. So I like mages. This time I decided to go with a knight. Because it just felt like the most, like... It felt like the best when you're basically new to it. And from looking up on the wiki, yeah, it's the recommended new player class, basically. You start with decently high defense armor. You're like 1 point off of being able to learn the basic healing spell from the cleric dude. You start with pretty good stats all around. The only major downside to it is you start with... Basically, you start more or less over-encumbered, so your roll is apparently a lot slower. I wouldn't know. I don't know what a fast roll is like. So, I'm just following the advice of the wiki, and I've put a few points into endurance to see about counteracting the fat roll, as they call it. Oh, jeez. I do think I will be streaming some Dark Souls, just because I have been having a lot of fun with it. And Spear is just kind of broken, at least for the early game. Like, geez. Because I noticed one thing watching Ruby play, and that was, like, your swings have physics. So, you know, if you're trying to swing at an enemy in an enclosed space, and your weapon hits the wall, well, that can eat your attack. So a thrusting weapon that doesn't need to care, you know, narrow little spaces, it's pretty nice for those. I also managed to fall into probably one of the best weapons I could get early on. And that mostly just comes down to, it's one of the best weapons because it helps you gain access to the Zweihander early. Which, I want to make something clear to people. Zweihander? Zwei is two. Two-hander. It's a two-handed sword. That's all that means. It's not some big fancy name. It literally is two-hander. Like, that's the name. But yeah, it gets you to that, so if you're going like heavy strength, there you go. There's a pretty cool sword for you. There's also, from even looking at the wiki, probably the best spear for a good long time just in there. So, and it's in a graveyard. And in this graveyard, there's skeletons. These skeletons are really difficult to deal with unless you hit them with a stick. And I found a morning star by falling into it. I was trying to get onto a roof. There we go. There's the fish from Muffy. It's like I was trying to get on a roof and I didn't know what the jump button was. I know what it is now. But is Norma thinking or no, she's reading. Okay. So yeah, I ended up falling, and then I ended up falling again. And that led me into an area with a bunch of treasure chests. That I honestly was half convinced one would be a mimic. Sweet looking freshwater gobby. Thanks, Steven. Very welcome. Way to go, Steven. Knew you could pull it off. Some 6 shades. Rob, I found the perfect reward for you. With your neon shades. Oh, heck yeah. 6 shades. Heck yeah. Oh, those look so stupid. But you know, I'll wear them for now. Why not? I will say there is one thing about Dark Souls, at least the original. I don't know if this carries on to the later games as well. That does annoy me mechanically. And that's invasions. Like, you basically have... God damn it, I thought that was 5. You basically have 2 options if you want to restore your humanity, which does give you a bonus of being able to kindle bonfires to then get 10 Estus flasks instead of 5. Estus flasks are your potion. They're your healing. You either just restore your humanity and put up with probably getting invaded by somebody who has played the game for hundreds of thousands of hours, wearing basically end-game gear, who's going to kill you. Or play in offline mode and never see a hint on the ground. Or you can just never restore your humanity and play the game harder than what was clearly intended. Like, and the amount of people in the forums that are like, oh, just get good. It's like, do you not understand that you got good alongside probably most of the community? And, you know, probably had a pretty smooth ride throughout the game because, you know, everybody who would be invading you was probably at about your level. Or it was an NPC, which I would be fine with. But these days, even if I were to invade somebody completely brand new to the game, my spear is better than anything they could have, even if they are using the same spear, because mine's upgraded. Mine will deal more damage. So, wielding the exact same spear, mine being upgraded means they can make fewer mistakes than I can. Because they'll simply be taking more damage. Like, it's simply just not cool. And I really wish there was a way of just turning it off. Like, there is a way of changing your matchmaking so that, you know, it basically goes between local, which I'm assuming basically means, you know, for me, North America, or worldwide. Basically meaning that if you live in somewhere in some part of the world where local to you probably isn't all that populated with Dark Souls players, you can probably restore your humanity no problem and not really have to worry about being invaded ever just by setting it to local. The problem then becomes that, well, brain, where are we going? Where were we going? I had a train of thought and it's just gone. God, love when that happens. There's a voice in the back of my head. Alzheimer's. I'm too young for that, brain. At least I'd hope. Trauma does speed that stuff up, but I should be too young for that. But yeah, the problem with their settings is that in their network settings, it implies that you can, you know, set a password, which you would assume means nobody can invade you unless they know the password. No. No, invasions can still happen. That password is for co-op. It does not tell you this. You kind of have to just figure that out on your own. Because that's fun. Love that. Love that a lot. But yeah, let's get these fish sold, because it is getting pretty far along. We have helped Hazel out. Hey, I finished the challenge. Yeah, I already caught 3. Yep, no, CJ. Yep, I want to sell. Alright. So, I do have a couple high-value fish. 23,000. 34. One of these days I'll get it right. One of these days. But let's, you know what, let's pop a squat right here. I also have a thing. 2 things. We caught fish. And we spent bells. Alright. With that, I thank you all very much for watching. And hopefully I'll see you back here tomorrow for more Animal Crossing New Horizons as we have the 3rd day of Operation Remove Serrano. See you all then.